Bonjour Internet, my name is Andrew Eder and welcome to another episode of Film EDERtorials. As you can probably guess from this ridiculous French accent, the topic of today's video is The Walk. Okay, now that I've offended like a third of the planet, let's move on with the movie review. The Walk is directed by Robert Zemeckis and tells the story of Philippe Petit, a French high-wire walker who decides in 1974 that he wants to put a high wire between the twin towers of the World Trade Center. The film is based off of Petit's memoirs, which are obviously in turn based off of real-life events, so people who were near the World Trade Center at the time, like my mother, are very familiar with the story, but I wasn't there because I wasn't born yet. So I didn't really know much about the story going in. Joseph Gordon-Levitt stars as Petit, and Ben Kingsley plays his mentor, Papa Rudy. Most of the rest of the team Petit assembles is also French, and they're played by French actors who I don't recognize them from anything, and I probably couldn't say their names correctly even if I tried. I felt the performances in this film were generally very strong. Ben Kingsley is obviously really good just because it's Ben Kingsley, but Joseph Gordon-Levitt did a really good job too, I feel. He did a really good job capturing the energy and the enthusiasm, but also the anger and kind of the more mental, almost trippy sequences that he has to. I thought he did a really good job navigating those things and giving a sincere performance. There is, however, the matter of accents. Generally, these are pretty good. I mean, obviously the French actors are going to have French accents when they speak English, so that's to be expected, and they're fine. But Joseph Gordon-Levitt's accent seems really fake. Maybe just because I know he speaks English natively, that having him speak in this really theatrical French accent is kind of off-putting. I'm not a great judge of French accents, so maybe it's fine, but it just seemed over the top. Surprisingly, I think Ben Kingsley's accent also slipped, which was very unusual, I felt, for him, but I detected the regular Ben Kingsley voice in between his bouts of speaking in French, speaking English with a French accent, and I think he also spoke some Czech. So he had a lot to do, but I still think I heard his regular English accent come out. I found the story to be very interesting, and this was helped by the fact that it's based off of true events that, actually happened and are well documented. But because the film is being told from Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character's perspective, I always have questions about how much of it is true and how much of it is dramatized or condensed. This movie is obviously about the Twin Towers, and it was shot with IMAX 3D in mind. So when I saw in IMAX 3D the actual scenes where he begins to tightrope between the two towers, get a big ol' nope from a guy like me who is afraid of heights. The visuals here are definitely the best. The 3D is really good and just makes you feel how tall they are. Though I don't think it perfectly captures it, because I did go to the Twin Towers before 2001. I got vertigo standing at the base looking up at them. Not even, before I even got inside, I was getting vertigo from looking at them. So when they do the scenes where it's IMAX 3D and you're looking over his shoulder down at the ground hundreds of feet below him, it's scary and it's intimidating, but I don't think it perfectly captures what it would be like to be up there. It's still impressive. But while on the topic of visuals, I think my big problem with the film was that stuff looked fake, but not the stuff you'd think looked fake. But the things that looked fake were things that shouldn't look fake at all, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's face looked weird and off at times, and I don't know exactly why I feel that way, but it was throwing me off. Furthermore, a lot of the scenes had this weird blue tint to it, and I don't know, A, why they had that, B, why it looked that way to begin with, and C, that blue effect made everything that looked weird look even weirder than normal. Probably my favorite thing about this film is that though the story is about Philippe Petit doing the high wire between the two buildings, the point of the film is to be a love letter to the Twin Towers. I imagine my feeling on this topic probably isn't going to be universal, but I did grow up here in Connecticut, and I did go to the Twin Towers before 2001, so I really enjoyed the way it was a love letter to the Twin Towers. And the last scene of the film especially drives that home and is really sensitive on the topic, but also really heartfelt and sincere. What's my final verdict? I'm gonna have to give The Walk 4 stars out of 5. I really liked that it was a love letter to the Twin Towers. It's an interesting story with compelling characters, and I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt does a good job of capturing the character of Philippe Petit. On the other side of the coin, because the tightrope walker is also the narrator, things are told in a very theatrical manner, and so it's hard to tell what exactly is true or not. Some of the accents do slip from time to time. This isn't a huge issue, but it does come up. And there's something not quite right with the visuals. The CG themselves, like of the towers, is fine, but some of the other things just look off, and I'm not sure where that's coming from. Okay, I think that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know what you thought of The Walk down below in the comments, and if you have any ideas for what movies I should cover in future episodes, let me know them as well. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, favorite, share, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Snapchat. Au revoir!